Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be looking at how we can manipulate the wavetables within Vital and Serum in order to create some interesting movement and harmonics within our bass sounds. I'm going to be creating a little minimal drum and bass idea to demonstrate this technique today. Now, this technique can be used to create dubstep basses, bass house basses, etc. Remember as well that these sounds can also be bounced down to audio and further processed within your DAWs. For the purpose of this video, I'm just going to be doing it with the synth. So we're just going to be using the sound that comes directly out of the synth and see how far we can take it just within the synths. So stick around to find out what kind of bass ideas we come up with for this minimal DnB idea. And let's get right into it. Here we go. Okay, so here we have an initialized preset. Let's move this down to 0, so we'll start at the beginning, and we're going to select basic shapes for this. Okay, so the main idea here is to go into the wave editing, and we're going to use the wave editing, and we're going to use the frames here. Okay, as you can see, the frame switches between the different shapes that we have available in the basic shapes. We're going to start with a sine wave, so let's click on the pencil symbol here, which is going to take us into the editing section. Inside here, we want to make sure, first of all, it's on spectral blend so that we blend between shapes. So this means if I come back out of here now, what that will allow us to do is blend slowly, you see, so we can start to create some interesting shapes already. But we can also, as we see here, if I move this LFO onto this, we're going to put it into, let's say, triplets. So we could instantly use that one just by putting a bit of distortion on here. We get also put a bit of this to the drive. So we've already fairly decent already, but listen to this now. Could add a bit of modulation to this as well. We can always add a bit of noise in here as well, so I could then next after that come in here, put a bit of noise. I could use the same LFO to control the noise amount. I can be here. Remember this filter as well is going to take some of that top off, so if I take this filter. You could play with this now that okay, so we've got, so this is one way of doing this trick, is just by using the basic shapes and just blending between the basic shapes. Okay, so what we've done is we've just gone into here and we've just switched on spectral blend. This has allowed us to just blend between these different shapes. Let's come into the thing now. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the other shapes. So if we click on each of one of these diamond shaped things here, you're going to see all the available shapes that we have in basic shapes default preset. Let's right click and we're going to remove keyframe, and we're going to do this to all of them apart from the very first shape. So come along here and right click and remove, right click, remove. Okay, next thing we want to do is just right click, and now we're going to create. What this is going to do is going to copy the one that's available there. So we've now got 2 copies of this. We're going to move it all the way to the right. And we're going to have this one selected because we want to edit this one. So I've drawn these in. I've just drawn a few random harmonics in here. Okay, and ended up with this shape here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out of here now, and we're going to apply the same principle here. We've still got the modulation on here. But because I've moved it, if we come in here, I've moved it all the way to the end, we need to go all the way to the top, basically. We can adjust how much we go up, for example, and I have to go all the way up to the top. But you can see this starts introducing and blending in these harmonics now. Okay, so we end up with something like that, which gives us this. Okay, so we could draw any harmonics we want into here and blend them into the original one here, and then blend in this kind of harmonic here. So we end up with these kind of interesting, it's very cool for like minimal sort of DnB bass lines to get those kind of harmonics you can blend, and this is a cool technique to use. So we can start playing with these shapes here. Okay, we end up with something like that. So the next thing we can do is we can put the glide on here just in case we want anything. So we can do the classic adding a transient shape into here just by doing this kind of thing. Something like this will do, and we'll put that through the matrix. We go LFO2, and we'll set up LFO2 so that it goes to the global and the voice transpose. We then right click on the voice transpose, it's very high at the moment. Let's right click and then to the value, let's go 24 semitones for this one. To make it very obvious, let's have it really slow. Okay, and let's hear it repeating. Something like that, and let's put it on envelope now, so that only plays once. We got that nice attack on there. Okay, so now we got that set up. Let's just have a listen. So remember, we can also put the noise onto this one as well, so we get the same kind of effect. So turned it down and made it quite subtle. Okay. Another thing we can think about doing is adding maybe another filter in here, but this time what we can do is we can make this filter into a cone filter style. Let's go for one of these. Okay, we can see that obviously this is lacking a bit of punch, so what we would do to compensate for this is we just come over here. I'll probably put this before the filter actually. I'm going to go into just single bad mode actually. Okay, so okay, what else could we add to it? We could possibly add, for example, another basic shapes here, and then this basic shapes. We could just FM it with this one. So then we can like modulate this in some way. So let's have some kind of modulation. Come in here, let's set like a level and let's say like something like this. And we can or something in, something like that. So it might well come down one. Let's just do that so they're both here. We could add a reverb on top of that as well. Okay, excellent. So we got the sound to kind of what we want it to be now. Okay, so here I have selected Serum. As you can see, I thought it would be a good idea to incorporate the same technique but using Serum, so that I can show you how you can apply the same techniques inside this synth as well. So let's open up a Basic Shapes first of all. Select Basic Shapes, turn the random down so it's on 0, so it always begins at the same place phase-wise. We then want to click on this pencil here, which will take us into the Wavetable editor. So here we go, and we're now in the Wavetable editor. We can see the sine wave here. We've got all the different shapes because it's Basic Shapes, so we get all of them. We want to go to number 7, and we want to delete the first or the last 6 of these. So we just end up with the first one, and that is the sine wave, and we want to copy it. So we press the plus, and that will copy the sine wave. Now we've got 2 sine waves. We want the second one selected. Up here, we have the phase at the bottom, and we have the velocity of the harmonics at the top. So in order for the harmonic velocity to stay the same, I'm going to make sure this is not blue. So I'm going to turn this off. And then when I add harmonics, this velocity will always remain the same. So I'm going to add harmonic 2 in here. And I'm going to add, or 3, sorry. And I'm going to go for this one as well. Let's make it more subtle, that one. A bit like this maybe. Let's come along here. One of these, for example. Let's come along here maybe. Something like this. There we go. So we're happy with this. What we need to do next is just go to the Morph and go to Spectral. This is now going to allow us to glide between these 2 wavetables. So as we come outside now of this Wavetable editor by clicking on the Close Wavetable Editor X symbol here, that brings us back to the main Serum page. We now should be able to smoothly, as you can see, transition between the sine wave to the harmonic addition here that we've created. So we now need to modulate it. So let's modulate that with LFO1, for example. I have it on full to start with and see what we end up with. And we can play with the amount. So if you wanted to, you could go back into here now that we got it modulating, and you could start playing with these to just adjust it to how you feel appropriate. So say you like that now. Now when you come back here, it's a bit quick maybe. Put it on trigger mode as well, so it starts in the same place every time. Cool, so we end up with that. So now we could add, for example, another one here. What we could do in Serum here as well is go to the menu. And then in the menu, we can copy oscillator A to oscillator B, which saves us having to redo it. So let's just go there. We can also select it with the modulation, and now it's going to copy exactly the same thing. So what I could do is I could like move this up an octave if I wanted to. Go right up. And then what we can do is turn the level down here, and then we can go to oscillator A, and oscillator A can modulate from B, so B is our carrier, therefore we got it turned down, and we're just receiving a signal from it. You can also turn down the octave, so it comes down an octave. And here we're getting a clicking, so what we do is we come to this, and we just put about 5. You can also hear some clicking on the top here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to smooth the LFO off a bit, so that makes it less sharp on the top. That's why we're getting that clicking in the like blending between here, because the sharpness of this top of the triangle shape. So yeah, another cool thing you can do in Serum actually is if you click on the folder here, if you right click on this, it gives you all your basic presets. Underneath those, it's got Wavetable A to LFO or Wavetable B to LFO. So what you can actually do is you can now copy, like, so if I just do this quickly, I could copy like a Wavetable A, for example, and it's going to give me the same shape here. Okay, so that just gives me that. So I want to go back to my basic triangle. There we go, get the same one back. Just a cool tip to show you guys there. There you go. Let's go into the effects as well. Let's add a bit of distortion. Let's go for a soft clip for this one. Turn it on. I'm going to set the envelope to this one. We're still lacking volume, obviously, so what we do in here is we put a compressor. We want it in single band mode. And turn the gain up. Okay, so that gives us keeps. So what we can do here as well is we can now go to the filter, and let's say we want to add a bit of modulation to filter. So let's make sure both of these go through the filter. Okay. Let's set another modulation to this. Let's set LFO2 to this one. And let's say we want to control that with something like this, that maybe over a bar raises up a bit. Now this LFO3 can control the amount that we go up here. So as we go over, we put it onto envelope mode as well. Let's say we want it slower, 2 bars. Let's say we want it to go to like here or something. So over time, that will get bigger. What we could also do with this is set this to the speed of LFO1. So now this can then go to the rate here. So we need to go into the matrix and control this. So say we want it like that. What I'm going to do is go into the effects. Let's add a filter on here, and let's choose a cool type of filter. Like normally the phases are quite good, etc. This is quite good. Turn this on. Cool, so we end up with something now like this. Okay, cool guys, so this is what I wanted to share today, was how you can manipulate the harmonics within the Wavetable editor, within Serum, within Vital, in order to create some cool kind of warpy-ish sort of bass sounds. Okay, so have a go crazy if you want with the harmonics as well. I went really subtle with mine in this one, but have a practice with going really crazy with them and see what results you get like that as well. It's quite fun to do. It's quite a cool technique to use. I think it's a bit underrated, this technique. Not enough people maybe use this technique enough, but it's something that gives you some really cool results sometimes. So go and have a play, see what you come up with. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you learned something in this one, and until the next one, take care of yourselves. Peace.